Hey guys, today we're taking a look at a new controller. This is the 8bitDo Pro 2. And yes, this is a successor to the 8bitDo Pro Plus. Their naming conventions are a little confusing. Wait, don't they already have a Pro 2 controller? Anyway, this controller is very similar to the original, so let's start there. For a more detailed look at the Pro Plus, you can check out my review, but here's a quick rundown. In short, I mentioned that the Pro Plus was a fantastic controller, and it even has some features that Nintendo's own Pro controller lacked. Real analog triggers, stick sensitivity options, DualShock 4 style layout, SNES style buttons and D-pad, full button remapping, adjustable rumble, macros, and much more. It even had a user replaceable battery and even supported AA batteries, and it offered up to a 20-hour battery life. The D-pad was also much larger and far more accurate than the one on the Pro controller. So yeah, a really nice controller, especially for the price, but it did have a few problems. The 8bitDo can't wirelessly wake your Switch. You can't quick power by simply plugging in a USB cable. Button and stick remapping sounds like a really cool idea in concept. However, this feature is extremely hampered by the fact you can only use one profile. If you could at least store two, you could toggle to your alt set whenever you wanted to play a specific game. It would be great, but when you only have one, you have to pick a setup and stick with it. You can make multiple profiles in the app, but you'll need access to a Windows PC every time you wanted to switch. If they simply had a dedicated button or switch for profiles, this feature will be incredible, or even the addition of dedicated macro buttons like some other controllers have. And I'm happy to report that 8bitDo actually listened. After updating the app and controller firmware, you're able to pair your controller with a new Switch simply by plugging it in. And while you're still limited to one profile, you can toggle it on or off at any time. They've also added a new high sensitivity option for gyro. This will really help people who use gyro for aiming. All these changes took an already good controller and made it even better, and 8bitDo took all these improvements even further with a new Pro 2 controller. This controller sports a new dual-tone design with a textured back, brighter player indicator lights, two mappable back paddles, and a dedicated profile switch button. And looks like the SNES style convex and concave buttons have been removed and replaced with solid labeled buttons. And the front gray plastic seems to have shifted from the lighter Super Nintendo tone to a darker, near classic PlayStation gray. The side dual tone colors look great and further takes inspiration from a DualShock 4. But the enlarged shoulder buttons and triggers give it its own distinct feel. But I get it, the parallel stick design may not be for everyone. Microsoft and Nintendo already use a style that may be more comfortable for some people, but I find this still very comfortable to use even in more modern 3D games. Just like the Pro Plus, this uses Bluetooth 4.0, so it should work on most devices, and the latency and battery life will be about the same. But it still may take a little bit longer to reconnect than Bluetooth 5 devices such as the official Pro controller. There's also a dedicated mode switch on the back. Previously, you need to power on the device with a specific button combination in order to switch the mode from PC to Nintendo Switch, but manual switching is way more convenient. The two back paddles can be mapped to any button, or you can even set up a macro for them. They're perfect for hitting harder to reach buttons, and it can help you pull off more complex button sequences with ease. You could even simply map them to jump and reload in an FPS to allow for more movement options without ever taking your thumbs off the sticks. The indicator light will show what profile you're currently using, and it turns off when profiles are disabled. This controller is shaped well and not too heavy, just like the original, and I think it will become my new primary controller. Nintendo added official remapping support for their own controller, but it's nowhere as complex as 8bitDo's software. I used to switch back to the official Pro controller for a few action-heavy 3D games, but I think the profile switching and back buttons more than make up for it on this model. And hey, if I wanted to, I could always play Monster Hunter for the D-pad. Okay, maybe not. So yeah, overall they took the already fantastic Pro Plus and made it better with updates, then further improved upon it for the Pro 2. But is it worth upgrading if you already have a Pro Plus? That's a bit hard to say. If you love the button mapping and macro features, the fact that the Pro 2 has dedicated buttons means that you no longer have to give up one of your buttons to use these features. And there's even a mobile app for the Pro 2 that will allow you to configure profiles on the go. The dual tone design just looks better too, and the textured back offers a more premium feel. But again, the core hardware on the Pro Plus is solid and it works extremely well. So for the average person who just wants to play games, if you have a Pro Plus and love it, stick with it. Is the Pro 2 better? Yes, in quite a few ways, but those improvements may not actually enhance your gameplay, especially if you've never touched the remapping software. For people who don't have a Pro Plus, I'd say this is a fantastic controller for the price. I only have a few minor complaints. One is the profile light. On the Pro Plus and the Pro 2, the lights that show that you're using a profile don't turn off, and it can get a little distracting. I really hope they add a timeout option in a future firmware update. But as for what could push this past the line to perfection, even after all these years, 8bitDo controllers still can't wirelessly wake your Switch. Maybe there's some copyright reason, but it just seems kinda crazy. These controllers can even wake your Switch via USB just fine. My suggestion for the Pro 3, put a little RF transmitter in this thing. Then include a little USB dongle, and when powering on the controller, have it talk to the dongle and have that dongle wake the Switch. It seems like a little extra work and may raise the cost a tiny bit, but I think it will be really handy. Also, it would be nice to have the ability to remap the paddles anytime, much like with the Hori and Biddenbach Joy-Cons. Profiles largely negate this issue as you can switch between 3 different settings for them, but sometimes it would be nice just to be able to change them for one situation. And lastly, as much as I love the SNES design, I really wish they'd make an offset stick variant. Yeah, it would look a bit weird and they'd have to redesign this thing a lot, but an offset stick controller with all the cool tech from the Pro 2 would open up a whole group of people who formerly stayed away just because they were too used to modern stick layouts. But yeah, again, overall the Pro 2 is great, especially for being cheaper than Nintendo's official Pro controller, and for $50 I say it's just about perfect. But I can't wait to see what they come out with next. Alright, that's all for now. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you in your next video. Bye.